YouTube? What's up, peeps? So I am Gladdy from Heart Take the Wheel, and I'm doing another episode, you are watching another episode of 3 for Thursday, where I share 3 things about something. And today's topic is 3 ways to help make your personal branding photo shoot go a little smoother. So we're gonna dive right in. This is totally forefront of my mind because I just did another personal branding photo shoot yesterday and it went amazing. It was so fun. I loved it. The client had fun. We completely exhausted one another and had to take a nap afterwards, but it was so fun. And I just was kind of, reflecting on how all of that went and why I think it went so smooth. So this is kind of some of the 3 things that I think, like top 3 reasons why I think this whole shoot went as smooth as it did. So I'm going to share those 3 tips with you, and then you can hopefully benefit from that. So maybe if you're going to do a shoot yourself, or you're a photographer and you do these types of shoots for other people, you can keep these things in mind. Or if you're someone who's going to hire someone to take photos for your brand, then you can utilize these things and make sure they're incorporated into your experience as well. So yeah, let's dive right in. Number 1 way to kind of make things go a little smoother for your portrait session is to make sure that you get to know your photographer. Get friendly with them. I feel like there are some sessions that can be a little more run and gun, like headshots, sometimes product, even sometimes stock. But I don't like it, but like sometimes I can understand it, like if communication's kept to a minimum. It's not the preferable way to do things, but I can understand sometimes like someone needs a headshot because their business is requiring them to have it. They contact somebody, within 24 hours they're photographed and delivered, and so I can understand that sometimes it's just the way it is for certain sessions. This is all situational, but for personal branding portraits, I feel like this encompasses a lot, and the more that you can get to know your photographer, the friendlier you guys are, it's just gonna make things go smoother, because you need to be yourself in front of the camera, right? We as photographers need you to be yourself in front of the camera, and so we help you do that, of course. But at the same time, if that barrier of who are you? Like, who am I? Like, do you know this weird thing about me? Like, this is how I laugh, or like, this is my sense of humor. Like, kind of that, like, getting to know each other barrier. If that's still up and as thick as a cement wall, then that's going to be something we're working through at the same time as your shoot. And that is, while possible, not ideal. So I do believe that the more you guys can meet in person for coffee, or to hang out, or to go on a Zoom chat, or maybe just Instagram DMs a lot, just like getting to know each other, and it's, so that whenever it's photo shoot time, that's not the phase that your relationship is in, right? You guys aren't like brand new, still getting to know each other. I mean, of course you're always getting to know another person, but I feel like that initial who the hell are you phase is at least past, and so we can work through some of the more fun stuff to capture you as, representing your brand. Okay, so number 2 would be open communication. So along the lines of getting to know one another, I feel like as long as that communication is open, the better your shoot can turn out for both parties. So keeping an open communication means DMing or texting, maybe even phone calls, whatever is your preferred method. Do that as often as you can. Whenever you have a question, whenever you're like, does this outfit match my brand? Is this like in line with what we have going on? Or should I bring shoes? Or should I bring this? Should I worry about that? Like, what about this hat? Or this jewelry? Or does jewelry matter? So you might have a ton of freaking questions as the client being photographed, right, for your brand. And it's important to have open communication with your photographer so that you can bounce all of these things off with them, because if, and I mean, that just has to be open. It just has to be a 2-way street that's super open. Like I said, I understand that certain shoots, certain things, situational, like minimal communication is the way it has to be, but it's ideal if y'all are like DMing and sending gifts and having that open communication, so that, like, for one, you're furthering the get to know you stuff, and 2, you are making sure you're not coming to that shoot like, man, should I have done this or should I have done that? What about this? And you don't have all of those worries. You have enough to worry about. I mean, you're being photographed. You're gonna be in front of a freaking camera, and that is pretty nerve-wracking for some people. So I feel like the more you feel prepared, the better that experience is going to be for you. Okay, so number 3, as if I can't count to 3, I literally already lost track. Number 3 would be to make sure that at some point, this is definitely part of the photographer's side of things. They have to really instigate this, but on your side of things, make sure that you guys are super crystal clear on the visual strategy. So be really prepared to go vulnerable and answer all the questions, or just spill your guts about what it is you want to do with your business, where you want to go with things, your big picture ideas. Don't hold back, because the more that the photographer knows about what you want to do, what you want to create with your brand and business, or where you want to go with it, the visual vibes you want to have people feel when they see your content, or how you're going to use these images, the more that we as the photographer know about you and your brand and what you want this to be, then of course the better the experience, right? And also it's easier for us to help you quickly tell you yes, that, sure, no, that, you know, you don't need this or you do need that whenever you're asking those questions in step 2, right? So, and this helps us whenever we're shooting, we'll be able to quickly understand, like, hey, this prop, while, you know, fits the scene, like in a technical aspect, doesn't fit you and your brand. And so we'll be able to quickly make those decisions because we're way more intimate with your brand vision, right? So that visual strategy really needs to be crystal clear between the two of you. And then of course you're gonna feel like you're totally taken care of and that they get you well enough that you could just worry about, you know, being in front of the camera. And we can worry about making sure that it is fitting what you need as an end result. So yeah, those I think were the 3 big things that, as you know, when I reflected on our shoot that just wrapped up yesterday, I was like, those 3 things were definitely what made this go so smooth for the 2 of us. So I wanted to share that quickly with you guys because I feel that you could take that and run with it and go make your experiences run a little smoother too, just by keeping that open communication, getting to know who you're working with. This doesn't just have to apply to photography, right, or a brand session. This can apply to any other service, you know, based aspect that kind of requires the person you're working with to understand your brand, right? So if that's like, it could be graphic design, it could be logos, it could be website, it could be, I mean, there's so many other aspects to, you know, who you might work with in your brand and business. And if you just keep that open communication, get to know that person beyond just like, here's an invoice. And also, feel like you can communicate clearly what it is you want, and the 2 of you can ask and answer enough questions that you're on the same page, I think that your experience will go so much smoother. So those are my 3 things for Thursday, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!